Fairy wings, how do we make these? Let's find out. Hey, it's Pam Duthie and it's a Wednesday, so it's another needle felting supply and equipment review. And we're still looking at the Maker's box, so if you haven't already, check out the playlist of my unboxing and things I've been making with this amazing kit that I got from the Makers. Just again, a reminder, although I'm not sponsored for this, the Makers did send me the box to review. Now, in last week's butterfly make, I learnt a few things that I could have done better, and I had some ideas for things that I wanted to try that was slightly different. Now quickly before I get into it, obviously there was a few mistakes or learning opportunities on the way to making this, and I've had a wee chat with the Makers girls and there's some exciting news coming up. A few of you commented quite rightly so, if I'd have done this all in a solid colour first and then tried to put the lines on top, then I would have lost all the detail and I would have had to be freehanding it. Now the Makers have a new method coming up soon for how you can actually improve on this, for how you can get all the detail and still have a solid shape and not be doing what I was doing and having individual pieces which I had to then basically felt together and gave me twice as much felting work. So I'm not going to spoil the surprise with their method, but I'll give a link when they put up their method, and when you see it I was just like, oh, why didn't I think of that? But anyway, so method coming up to help with that. And when I was making my butterfly, I love just how thin I was able to get the wings, and so I had a thought, what about fairy wings with these wonderful tattered holes? How would that work out? So let's stick on some magical music and have a look at me making these wings. So as you can see in the video, basically I just freehanded 2 sets of 3 different shaped wings to make these wings and felted them out, keeping some holes along the bottom for that tattered look. Now when I'd drawn it, I'd thought about doing the holes on the bottom wing as well, but it was so tiny and everything was so fiddly, I decided not to. You could come back and cut them later, but it's kind of fun doing it this way because there is a little bit of not complete holes all the way through. You can see a little bit of fibre across them, which I think is pretty cool. So then once they were felted nice and firmly, and I made sure there was good overlap between the purple and red, and I cheated and added a little bit of black just for contrast on the very tips of the wings. Remember, if you're getting the Maker's box, if you're getting this 2D beginner's needle felting box and you haven't got any products, they allow you to pick the colours that you want. You can request different colours, so make sure and request black and white because you're always going to need black and white. But if you've already got colours, you don't necessarily need them. Also, if you were going to make fairy wings, you might want to request maybe slightly lighter colours, although I quite like this dark. And you could also do blacks and purples to make more kind of bat wings. All sorts of different options there. So I made the 3 different wings and then we popped it into the water. Now a little something extra that the Makers girls said to me. If you'd noticed in my butterfly video, I mentioned that there was a little bit of the water soluble fabric kind of hadn't all completely washed away, and it was starting to dawn on me, but they pointed out, and they're quite right, if you totally don't wash it completely out, if you just dunk quickly so there's a bit left in, it works a little bit like a kind of starch, like a fabric stiffener, so when it dries the wings have a little more body, because even the wire only goes a little way in these wings, but they really do hold their shape for being very fine wings. So this is an added bonus to making fine things like this. The actual fabric, when you just wet it quickly, is going to dry and give a little bit of body to your piece. So I could have added the wire again before I dunked this in the water. I just wanted to try it afterwards. It's a galvanized wire, so it wasn't going to rust, but I just wanted to try it this way. So it's a little bit fiddly, but I think it gives a really nice end result because not only have you got the stiffness of the extra fabric in the wings, but with the wire here I can just manipulate the shape ever so slightly as well. And these would look awesome stuck on any of your sculptures. It could even be a brooch or an applique for a hat or something, but I think this worked really great. And if you do make yourself a set of fairy wings, don't forget to share them on Pam Duthie's Felting Friends on Facebook. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, click on my wee face to subscribe and come back every Wednesday for videos like this. Thank you so much.